Hi everyone, I'm Jim. Thanks for listening to my story last time about Morvidus, the bear, the bat and the ragged staff. I did promise though that I had another story. Now this is such a new story, it's not even been printed yet. But you're going to get to see the illustrations today and I'll be able to read it to you. And if you remember at the end of last time's story, we wanted to know how Morvidus got the bear on his shield. This story here, written by Rachael Wong, will tell us exactly that. I hope you like it. Here we go. Alex's 3 favourite things in life were his family, playing cricket and his bedtime story. Most nights, Alex would ask for the story of Morvidus. Morvidus was a brave warrior who had pulled a tree out of the ground in the forest to fight a giant, and then added the picture of the tree to his shield. "Dad," asked Alex one night, "you know when Morvidus put the tree on his shield?" "Yes," replied Dad. "We call it a ragged staff nowadays. It's on the Warwickshire badge." "I know that," continued Alex, "but the picture of the bear was already on the shield. How did that get there?" "Is there a story about that too?" Dad looked at Alex's eager face. Poor Alex hadn't been able to go out and play cricket with his friends for a few weeks, and Dad wanted to cheer him up. "Well, the answer to that is yes. There is a story. Would you like to hear it now?" Alex almost leapt out of his bed in delight. "Steady on," laughed Dad, as he settled back down on the bedroom floor to start the next story. When Morvidus was a boy in ancient Warwickshire, his favourite things in life were his family, playing turnip ball with his sister Morwena, and hearing stories about brave warriors. Morvidus and Morwena had invented the game of turnip ball themselves. The rules were very simple. One person threw a turnip as hard as they could at the other person. This other person had to hit the turnip as far as they could with a big stick, ideally into the bushes at the end of the field. Morvidus and Morwena could both throw and hit a turnip very hard. Each of them had a favourite stick they used, kept hidden from the other one the rest of the time. Their father, Sir Hugh, had given them 1 turnip from the barn to play with, but he said the rest of the turnips were needed to feed the family during the winter. So every time Morvidus and Morwena hit the turnip into the bushes, they had to go and find it. One day, Morvidus and Morwena were in the forest collecting berries for their mother, Lady Carmen. Well, they were meant to be collecting berries, but they were actually playing a fierce game of turnip ball. Morvidus threw the turnip really hard at Morwena. It hit the middle of her stick and she whacked it hard, right into the heart of the forest. Beyond the danger signs warning people about monsters and strange beasts. Morvidus groaned. The children knew they shouldn't go beyond the warning sign, but they needed to find their one and only turnip. With only a moment's hesitation, Morvidus and Morwena set off to find their turnip. The children were so busy looking for the turnip, they didn't hear the snap of twigs and the rustling of bushes. What they did hear, though, was what came next. The deafening roar of an enormous angry bear as it drew itself up right in front of them, ready to attack. "Run!" yelled Morvidus. "Over here, quickly, up this tree!" Brother and sister both raced away from the angry bear and climbed a large oak tree like a couple of squirrels. The bear paced around the bottom of the tree, growling up at the children. Luckily, this was not the type of bear that climbed trees. Morvidus and Morwena looked around helplessly. What could they do? The bear had trapped them. The children knew they would have to stay in the tree until the bear went away, or their parents came to look for them. But then the bear would attack their parents, and this worried the children, as neither Sir Hugh nor Lady Carmen were very good at climbing trees. Suddenly, Morwena spotted something. "Look," she whispered to Morvidus. "Over there, behind those bushes. Can you see it? It looks like a baby bear stuck in a hunting trap." Morvidus looked closely. Morwena was right. He could see a pit where the small bear had fallen into. It was helpless at the bottom with a rope around its neck. Morvidus felt sorry for the young bear. He also realised the big bear must be its parent and wasn't going to go away without its cub. "Well," whispered Morvidus to Morwena, "there's only one thing we can do. Somehow we'll have to go and free that bear cub from the trap." "What?" hissed Morwena angrily. "Are you mad?" "Listen," Morvidus replied softly. "You keep the bear distracted, and I'm going to climb further up the tree into the leaves where the bear can't see me. Then I am going to climb from tree to tree and come down over behind the trap." Before Morwena could argue with him, Morvidus disappeared up the tree, leaving Morwena to occupy the big bear. "Well," she said, "Morvidus isn't going to have all the excitement here." So Morwena hung by her knees from the branch and swung down just above the bear's head. The bear lashed up at Morwena with his fearsome claws, snarling with rage. Twice more Morwena swung down. Her legs were tired, but she had to keep going because she could see Morvidus had just climbed down from the tree behind the trapped cub. The angry grown-up bear must not see Morvidus. Morvidus knew he had to work quickly if he was to set the cub free before the big bear saw him. Hopping down into the trap, Morvidus pulled out his hunting knife and started cutting the rope around the cub's neck. It was slow work, and the bear cub was struggling all the time, and it didn't understand that Morvidus was trying to cut it free. Eventually, the rope was cut. Morvidus and the bear cub, however, were still stuck in the trap. Gently but firmly, Morvidus lifted the wriggling bear above his head, up, out of the trap. The cub yelped. Morwena had heard the bear cub yelp and saw it reappear out of the trap. Immediately, the grown-up bear turned around, saw the cub, and bounded over to it. Morvidus was still in the trap. Morwena was horrified as she watched the big bear stick its head into the hole and give the most terrifying roar. Morvidus froze with fear as the fearsome head of the grown-up bear appeared above him at the entrance to the trap. Saliva dripped in rivers down the sharp teeth. The bear's mouth was like a cave. Its breath stank. Morvidus was sure just one swipe from those giant claws would be the end of him. The bear roared again, a slightly different roar, perhaps a softer roar. Morvidus couldn't be sure, but he had a feeling the bear was smelling him. The bear then unexpectedly took its head out of the hole. Sitting in the tree, Morwena watched the big bear lick the cub all over as if it was checking it. When the grown-up bear was satisfied all was well, the two bears slowly walked back to the depths of the forest, and then there was silence. When she was sure the bears had gone, Morwena jumped down from her tree and raced over to the trap. She was very worried about Morvidus, but when she poked her head into the trap, a very complete-looking Morvidus shouted up, "Throw me one of those ropes, will you, so I can climb out." That was even more exciting than turnip ball, but I wouldn't want to do it every day. A few years later, Morvidus became a young squire. All the games of turnip ball with Morwena had made him strong, and Morvidus had become the best swordsman in the area. Morvidus also carried a massive wooden shield, heavier than most men could carry. One day, Lord Hugh sent Morvidus to the king with an urgent message about some thieves who were attacking local villages. "Take this message to the king," he instructed Morvidus, "and beware of the thieves in the wood." Morvidus was delighted he had been asked to deliver the message. He would now be able to meet up with Morwena, who was serving as a shield warrior for the queen at the king's fortress in Edgbaston. Morvidus rode swiftly through the woods of Edgbaston. Suddenly he spotted movement ahead of him in a tree. Morvidus managed to slow down just in time to see a rope stretched across the path, a rope that was designed to pull him off his horse. Although Morvidus was still on his horse, 6 armed thieves appeared from the trees and surrounded him. Even as the best swordsman in the area on a horse, it was going to be a hopeless fight against 6 strong armed men. Just as the thieves attacked Morvidus, there was a deafening roar from the forest and a giant bear came thundering towards them. One of the thieves fled instantly back into the trees. The others turned to fight the bear. Morvidus' horse was terrified. It reared up and threw Morvidus off. One thief attacked Morvidus and the 2 men wrestled to the ground. Elsewhere there was chaos. The bear had knocked another of the thieves to the ground with one swipe of an enormous paw. It then launched itself on a second thief, crushing him with the weight of his body. The sound of the thief's bones cracking was enough to send the remaining 2 thieves running back into the forest, knowing they were beaten. Meanwhile, Morvidus emerged victorious from his own fight. He pulled himself to his feet and looked at the bear. Uncertain if he was to be the next victim, Morvidus stood very still, did not reach for his sword. The bear approached and sniffed, as if he was checking something. Instantly, Morvidus understood. This was his bear, the one whose cub he had released from the trap all those years ago. In fact, Morvidus could see the bear was holding a small piece of rope he had cut to free the bear. "Thank you, my friend," said Morvidus softly. "We have protected each other." The bear blinked at Morvidus and slowly moved off, back into the forest. Luckily, his horse had not gone too far, and Morvidus was able to find it quickly. He arrived at the king's fortress of Edgbaston before sunset. The king was impressed when he had heard that Morvidus had actually encountered the thieves on the way and was able to provide important information about them. Morvidus remembered the king was fond of hunting large animals, as he was of hunting thieves. The last thing Morvidus wanted was for the king to lead a party of warriors to hunt the bear as well as the thieves, so he kept quiet about the bear. He would only tell Morwena that bit. Of course, by leaving out the role of the bear, Morvidus now looked incredibly brave, even braver than he already was. He had apparently single-handedly fought off 6 thieves in the forest. To recognise his bravery, the king decided to make Morvidus a knight immediately. "You will need a symbol on your shield now. What will you have, young man?" "A bear, please, your majesty," replied Morvidus promptly. And that, finished Dad, is the story of how Morvidus put the bear on his shield, and then eventually it became the symbol of Warwickshire. "Thanks, Dad, that was a great story," said Alex, snuggling down for the night. "Do you think turnip ball was how cricket started?" "Definitely," replied Dad with a wink. "Morvidus was very brave to free the cub from the trap," continued Alex. "Morvidus and the big bear were both looking after the cub, and then the big bear saved Morvidus later on. And don't forget, Morvidus protected the grown-up bear by not telling the king about him." "Oh yes," agreed Alex. "He did, didn't he? Everyone looking after each other. One big bear's family." What a great story. I hope you enjoyed that one as well. And remember, you can always go into the woods yourself and pretend to be Morvidus and Morwena. Go and play a bit of turnip ball. Watch out for the bears though. Bye bye.